It's funny. I'll tell you, I was blindsided. This is the second time this has happened now. I just opened a card. It's been sitting here next to me. If we get mail here, it just sits in here in the studio. And I saw it today, but I hadn't opened it yet until during that commercial break. And it's the second time, and it's a different person now. And they've sent me a whole letter here, and there's only one word in very small font written on it. And it's the F word for passing gas, which people know. I don't say that. I don't say
fart.
That.
Wow. That's right. Nothing but.
I don't say that word. That's a word I do not say. And people just now are starting to send me letters.
Can we trace the envelope? Any clues?
Raleigh, NC.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds about right. I wasn't going to say it out loud until you said
right?
it.
Raleigh. Yeah. I didn't want to.
Now that we got proof.
I think we need the SBI in on this.
Let's get in on this now.
Yep, that's not a Rocky Mountain. That's not a.
Nope.
That's not a Durham person. That's Raleigh.
That's Raleigh NC on 12 April.
That's what they do.
That's right. Sit there and type the F word.
Classless.
Thank you. You said it now.
Up to Capitol.
You said it. It's a mess up there.
Big government.
That's big government sending me that. It's probably some legislator.
There's no shock. It don't shock me.
Not the strangest fundraising letter I've ever seen.
Give here
one more tiny little font.
Write a check, or the letters keep coming.
I'm just not. I cannot
write
have
the check.
I cannot have that. I can't see that. Where I hate that word. I will not use it. Now, speaking of words not to be used, I have to thank B.B. Shea for saving my career today, and maybe even my life. Biggie did this once for me. A few years ago, I sent him a sound clip that I said, this is completely edited, use it. It was Cardi B.
We're good to go.
I said, we're good to go. I edited all her F words out of it, everything. And he called in, he said, are you sure this Cardi B's ready to go? I said, air it, we're airing it. He said, are you aware it does contain the N-word? I said, do what? I said, yeah, you left an N-word in there. She had said it a few times. I thought I'd gotten it all out. No,
Yeah.
She said it. So he edited it out. I said, you saved my career and maybe my life. Today, B.B. Shea said, I'm listening to your commercial for Crescent Ford. I endorse Crescent Ford. They have my 1998 Acura in their body shop right now. He said, I'm listening to a commercial that's going to air, and I think you said the F word in it.
Really?
Well, I said, I highly doubt that.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say I bet it wasn't in the script.
You wouldn't think,
No.
would you, to say
No.
Crescent F and Ford, man. They are doing it.
Yeah.
They are doing it.
The F in 150.
No. It is not in the script. Let's listen to it now. And I was just changing gears to talk about first, I think it was their service department.
Okay.
And then into their body shop. They're in and out quickly, and everybody raves about it. That's why they win so many awards at Crescent Ford and CrescentFord.com. Talking body shops, too. A lot of dealerships right there.
Yeah.
I think I said talking body shops.
Right.
Talking.
Yeah.
Because I was loading it into the system, kind of just listening while doing something else, and I turned my head as soon as you said it. I'm like, did he just drop an F-bomb right there?
Yeah,
and then I went back and listened to it 3 or 4 more times, and it sounds like it, but I feel like you were just kind of saying something else, but it flubbed a little bit.
Yeah. I think I was trying to say talking, but I was going quickly. And I tell you, that's the best effing body shop you're going to find in about 3 states. Now we caught Dave on this one day too. He was doing an ad for an RV dealership, and instead of saying .com,
CountryRoadsRVCenter.com.
I'll leave it to you.
CountryRoadsRVCenter.com.
It happens.
That is an American website.
Okay.
Is that the dark web?
It happens.
CountryRoadsRVCenter.com.
That's the way Dave types in his URL.
Nobody saved his life.
No, nobody saved his life. You saved me. You have answered every challenge. You've done exactly what Biggie does for me. You keep me grounded, and you saved me on the path. And
He threw himself on the grenade for you there.
You did it.
Right.
You
Pulled the thorn out of your paw.
Whew, and I thank you very much. Now, who will do the same for Pat Sajak? There's a story.
What do you do now?
Well,
There's too many issues with Pat lately, Kelly.
You always say that. That's. I think you're right. Now, I don't think, to me, this one is not that big a deal. A couple of times recently, people have Twitter dragged Pat Sajak. About 6 months ago, he made a little bit of fun. He poked some fun at a contestant who had a speech impediment.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? And I thought,
barely.
as soon as it happened, I said, it's over for Pat Sajak. It is done. And people on Twitter were like, are you kidding me, Pat Sajak? This was that. The guy had a little bit of a list.
Chris Brimble, West Hollywood, California. Tech sales, huh?
Yeah, I work for a technology company. We sell technology that benefits older adults living in senior living communities.
Yeah, that's a tough thing, too, because technology and sometimes people are not open to new ideas.
You'd be surprised how open they are.
Yeah, good. Yeah. Well, I'm glad. So that's just a myth.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it is.
I see.
Okay.
Ooh.
Exactly. Okay. First you've heard
Well,
of that.
you might win.
Okay, yeah. And people on Twitter were like, hey, man, how dare you? And I said to Chris Demm, it's over for Pat Sajak.
It's the last show.
That'd be the last time you see him.
It is over for Pat Sajak. Used to be, years ago, we saw this as well. He would try to keep things really away from anything controversial. And now he seems to be sort of tiptoeing around the controversy. Years ago, they had a couple of best friends on Wheel of Fortune. It was Best Friends Week. And one of the guys, when they interviewed him, said, I love to do camping and Rubik's Cube.
Was he an Eagle Scout?
Yeah.
I think maybe both boys
they
were
both
Eagle
were
Scouts.
Eagle Scouts. So the second young man, they were talking to him, and he said, I also do Scouts. And the other guy had said something about Rubik's Cube. And he said, also, I'm an LGBTQ youth of color.
Hi, my name is Jonathan. I'm 17 and I'm a senior. I do Boy Scouts of Christian, and I'm also an Eagle Scout. Also, as a proud LGBTQ youth of color, I really enjoy doing activism in terms of racial and gender justice.
And how many squares are on a Rubik's Cube?
Maybe the best follow-up question.
Great
in
question.
history.
So you're an LGBTQ youth of color, and
you love activism.
What about the Rubik's Cube?
I do the blue side first. What do you do?
Okay.
You polished up the wrong end of that.
This week, 2 days ago, on Wheel of Fortune, they had a contestant whose profession was opera singer, and she was the big winner for the night. So at the end of the show, there's always like that 30 seconds where Pat just chats with Vanna to end the show. So, well, that's it for tonight, and he'll make a little quick joke about the puzzle or something like that, something that's happened on the show.
So all the gaming is done.
It's done. It's the end of the credits are getting ready to roll, and they're standing there in front of the board, and Pat basically says good night. They always have a quick little exchange. And on this one, he asked Vanna about opera because the winner for that night was an opera singer.
Are you an opera buff at all?
Yes, I'm not a buff, but I like opera.
Have you ever watched opera in the buff? I'm just curious.
No.
Well, people went wild. They were like, that's it for Pat Sajak.
That's it. You will never see him again.
You ain't going to see Pat Sajak. It didn't bother me in the least.
No.
I thought, is that a big deal? I mean, people went after him on Twitter and said he should be fired.
Oh, lighten up.
That's what I said. I thought the same thing. I thought the lisp joke was a lot worse.
No, in fact, that's probably the funniest stuff he's done right there. That material.
Are you an opera buff at all?
Yes, I'm not a buff, but I like opera.
Have you ever watched opera in the buff? I'm just curious.
No.
People called it a Me Too moment. They were like, hashtag Me Too on Pat Sajak.
I'm sorry, I'm just picturing you naked.
Vanna, she's 62.
He's 75.
Well,
he's 75, and that's it for Pat Sajak.
No.
And the other thing I always think about this is they pre-taped those shows, and so they could have very
That's true.
easily
That's
they could
like
have cut
weeks
that.
ago.
They could have said,
Leave
hey,
it
Pat,
in.
let's recut that.
Because there's nothing there to take out.
That's what I thought.
Leave it alone.
I thought that was no big
Why don't
deal
you
at all.
cancel everything? Jesus.
I know. Am I?
No.
Okay. Maybe I am.
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Thank you.
But no.
But and then I thought, and also, I looked this up. There's still no studio audience at Wheel.
I didn't think so.
You have said that, and I wasn't sure because they lay in applause and stuff like that from old shows. They lay in applause, and so it seems like there is a studio audience. Listen to when he says it. They lay over top of it kind of a sound.
Are you an opera buff at all?
Yes, I'm not a buff, but I like opera.
Have you ever watched opera in the buff? I'm just curious.
No.
Hear the crowd.
Oh, Pat's done it again.
There's no crowd. There's no crowd.
They're playing with you.
Yeah, they're messing with
They're
me.
batting you around.
Well, he's back on Thursday. That was on Wednesday. He's back.
They're playing with you like a cat playing with that mouse on your shirt.
Maybe okay. I think you're right. I think there's nothing really here for that.
When did they shoot that? A few weeks ago?
Yeah.
Why don't they have still have people in audiences there? I mean, other places do. Like Kimmel does, and
Yeah.
Kimmel does, but the Ripper Show does
They
not.
don't have it, and neither does Jeopardy that I've seen.
the New York stuff I understand a little better because it's in Manhattan. They're slow to go, but California's been open.
Well, they were
They
slow
but-
at first, yeah.
But they're studio audiences.
And there's Price is Right doesn't have it. They still have an
That's
audience.
stupid. They should have canceled that show. Price is Right. I love it as much as I love the history.
Yeah.
It looks stupid.
Yeah, it does.
People
to not
sitting
have
out there in little pods.
Yeah.
20 people. All of y'all are getting on stage.
I like you today.
Well,
you're
saucy.
You're
I'm
saucy.
done with it.
I
All
like
right,
it. I like you
I'm
today.
done with it.
No, you're saucy.
And the bear didn't shave. I'm done with him. Look at him.
Wait, what?
BB Shaq. You don't like his.
What's the showbiz name, please?
It's Easter, for God's sake.
Okay, so there's that, and I agreed with you, Dave. I didn't think that was a big deal.
Much ado about nothing.
I thought the same. What about this guy? There's a guy who's going viral on social media as well, who had a gender reveal. I know you don't care for gender reveals. You're not a fan.
I mean, lightly they're okay, but I mean, let's not go blowing up a ship if it's blue or pink.
This is much more low key.
This is much more low-key.
Okay, that's all right.
I've been to one gender reveal party, and I have to say I enjoyed it.
I know you loved it.
And they dropped the pink balloons, or they opened the box and pink
I
balloons.
get it, yeah.
I thought it was pretty nice.
Yeah.
Well, this guy he and his wife are standing there. They have two little girls running around, and they look like twins. I mean, they're little.
They're
and
tiny.
They're tiny, probably year and a half, 2 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And they're having another baby. Now, he's got two, and they're both girls. It appears now that this guy wanted a boy. The husband wanted a boy. So the way they did it was they opened an umbrella over his head, and confetti rained down. All pink confetti. Okay, so you're basically in a shower of either blue or pink, and this is pink.
And nobody knows but the person that put this together.
That's
whoever
right.
The coordinator.
The only person that knows is like the doctor and the coordinator. So the wife says 1, 2, 3, opens the umbrella. The kids, the two little girls they already have, are running around amongst their, like next to their legs, and the pink confetti rains down on them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What is it, Kaya? You having a baby brother or baby sister?
That's the dad.
No, a baby sister.
The dad says the F word 3 times. He's just wandering around. Like he's in front of the camera and
lost.
Come on,
just
man.
wanders around. And I think, what are you doing? You know, I mean, you could be.
Think of the therapy for the girls.
Yes. And all 3 girls are going to see that when they can understand it.
Oh, yeah.
And they're going to be like, what?
Yeah. They're going to show that to the daughter when she's 15.
I never wanted you.
What are you doing? He's clearly trying for a boy.
Yeah, he wants a boy.
I bet it's his last shot at a boy.
Could be.
He didn't get it. He didn't
Guys at
get
the
it.
pickleball court give him a hard time.
I guess so.
Oh, you got living in a house full of girls over there, aren't you? Bunch of girls at your place.
And he's just not having it and drops the F word multiple times. Let me tell you, I got a boy and a girl. And last night, a parenting challenge last night, okay? I don't even know really why I got so into it, but we were at dinner last night. And lately, we've tried to make a concerted effort to have dinner together at the dining room table. We used to eat me on the sofa, wife in her chaise, kids at the nook, all right, the breakfast nook.
That's a good way to enjoy it, though, isn't it?
Absolutely. I'm watching Wheel of Fortune most times, yeah. TV on, I'm watching TV. But about a month ago...
No devices at the table?
No device at the table. About a month ago, we said, let's start going into the dining room and eating as a family so that we can have more conversation, hear about the kids' days. And I have to say that's been successful. It's opened them up more. They're talking to us more.
It's a proper American family.
That's the way it really should be. Now, I'm not there every night. I'm taken away by various activities.
As are they.
That's right.
I'm sure your boy's not there, is he?
No, sometimes he's out
doing
Your
busy
plastic
work.
girlfriend.
I might. We don't refer, please. Sometimes my daughter's off at school events or whatever, but the nights we're home, we're in the dining room. Well, last night was one of those nights. And my wife had slaved over a rotisserie chicken. I say slaved over because she bought it earlier.
She picked it up.
Okay.
Carried it across town.
Yes, she did. We had broccoli, we had rolls, and we had mashed potatoes. And now this, to me, is a classic American dinner.
Love it.
Chicken, broccoli, potatoes, rolls. And that's it. Okay. So we're all sitting there having dinner, and I noticed that neither child has a water in front of them. Now, my job is to plate the food, and my daughter's job is to set the table. She set the table and to get the drinks. And she got me and my wife waters, and we're sitting there, and so we just start chatting, and it starts to turn to nutrition. I say, well, why do you two not have any waters? Don't you want water?
Did you have a tone?
No, a little. My son doesn't drink enough water. And I said, neither one of you have waters here. And they were like, yeah, I'm not thirsty. They both said, we're not thirsty, whatever. And 2 more minutes go by, and both of them said, okay, we're done. And I look at their plates. They haven't eaten a thing. Not a thing. And so I
Do
said,
they even make the effort to push stuff around?
they had pushed it around, but they had eaten their rolls. Okay, we had those little Sister Schuberts that we like.
I know what you're talking about.
So they had that. Thank God for Sister Schubert.
Not even Easter.
Not yet. We had those, and they had a hunk of butter with some rolls.
Yes.
And I said,
Good stuff.
and I said, all you did was eat your rolls. And they said, yeah. And my son goes, I'm not hungry. Well, I know this game. At midnight, he comes down and makes ramen noodles and potato chips and eats it.
Well, that's good too.
Well, I find the remnants the next morning, and I said, no. Both my wife and I had already cleaned our plates. We were done. And I said, neither one of you.
We've seen you eat.
Okay. But I
I
said,
have BB Shea seen you eat.
I said, neither one of you is leaving this table until you clean those plates.
Oh, boy.
And they were like, Dad, I'm not hungry.
The plate clean.
Yeah, and I said,
Ultimatum.
I've never done that before.
At their ages.
At their ages. And I said, you know what? I'm sitting here with you until you clean those plates. And they were like, Dad, come on.
A united front from the children.
Yeah, my daughter's like, I'm not hungry, and I've eaten a lot of it. And well, she hadn't. She'd eaten the rolls.
Mm-hmm.
So I sat there with them. And my son, every couple of minutes, they just push at it and eat a little piece of chicken. And they go, it's terrible. We need some, we want some hot sauce. So I got them hot sauce. I got them all. And then my son was like, I'm going to get up and use the bathroom. I said, you're not getting up from that chair until you eat everything on that plate.
May I ask Kelly the layout of the family table? Where's the wife during all this?
Okay, I'm at the head of the table. Wife to my left, naturally. Wife to my left. Both children to my right. And my wife eventually gets up. She goes, well, I'm done with my dinner. I'm watching Wheel of Fortune.
Ooh.
So she abandoned you.
She did. But I said, okay, go ahead. And so I sat and
Did you
watched.
get a look of, I'm with you on this, or this is a bad idea?
Absolutely. She was with me.
Okay.
100%. And she joined in with that kind of stuff. I mean, we were back and forth and back and forth. So,
Until the wheel started spinning.
okay,
Then she left.
finally, after a while, I said, all right, I'm going to get up and go in there and join your mother. Neither one of you should get out of this seat until those plates are clean. And call me when they're done, and I'll come back in here and inspect them. And they said, okay. Well, I heard them in there whispering, talking about, and then a little laughter. And I got more and more. I mean, I could hear them. They're like, Dad does this. And I was getting so mad. And I'd go back
Look at him under his shawl.
Oh, my God. So mad.
Couldn't enjoy
I
TV.
was so mad I couldn't. So I'd go back in there and yell at him every so often. Okay, scream at him.
Yeah.
Well, I go
How
back,
much time has elapsed?
all told, 45 minutes.
Wow.
Okay,
Oh, my
long
God.
time. Well, I mean, Jeopardy's on now. Now we're in the middle of Jeopardy. So I go back in there one time, and I see my daughter has eaten a pretty good bit of it, almost done.
Okay.
And I said, all right, I'm going to let you go. Let me have your plate. So I have her plate, and she gives me her, she gives me her plate. I said, where's your napkin? She goes, I don't have one. And I said,
Question.
Yeah.
Paper napkins or cloth?
Paper napkins. And I said, I gave you a napkin because I set the table. She goes, oh, it must have fallen on the floor. I said, all right, let's look around the floor. So we look around. There's no napkin to be found. She goes, I don't know where it is. I said, I want you to tell me where that napkin is right now.
Wait, you're
She
not
goes,
letting go.
And she goes, maybe under the rug. I said, under the rug? You think it's under the rug? We pick up that rug, and there's that napkin in there full of food. She has opened up the napkin for all,
Veggies, chicken.
Veggies, every bit of it. And there was a hump in the rug.
What's the dog doing during all this?
The dog cannot go in the dining room. We have the hidden fence, so the dog can't go.
Perfect.
Okay, right. So that's the one place the dog can't go. So the dog's just like laying there looking at her like, I'm going to go. I want this.
It's for me.
And I said, I was so mad at her. I said, you put that food in that napkin and hid it from me under that rug. And you know what she said to me? She goes, the devil took over.
That's what Denzel told
She said,
Will.
Yes.
she said, the devil got to me.
She went to another world.
She goes, I want to apologize because that was a sin and I'm a sinner and the devil got to me. And I said, don't you lean on the Bible. I said, you're a sneak and you did this. And we went back.
What's the boy doing during this?
He was dying laughing because he had seen her do that. And I turned to him. I was like, don't you think you're out of this? And he ate 75% of it. He said, oh, Dad, I'm slumped. I can't take anymore. Well, finally, I had to go to bed. So I was like, all right, that's it. But I want this to be remembered. And I turned to my daughter and I said, this is not the end of this. Because I was like, I'm punishing you. And my wife was like, you're grounded. I can't believe you did that to your father. And I'm so mad. She's like, I'm a sinner. I'm a sinner.
That's pulling rank.
She goes, the devil took me to a dark place. And I said, don't you dare. Don't you dare bring the devil into this. You're the only one sitting there with food. And then she goes, how can you say that? I was like, oh, you're just using the Bible. Oh, it made me so mad. I'm telling you what. And she put a whole blanket full of mashed potatoes in there too, all messed up. Oh. And I said, what were you going to do? And she goes, And my wife said, well, I was going to find that after it had rotted about 3 weeks from now. And she goes, no, I was coming back down to get it. I said, you plotted. You were going to come back down.
Yeah,
she was going to come back down after midnight and get that. Ooh. And my son goes, Dad, you're smarter than I thought you were. I said, no, I don't think so.
I am not.
I am not smarter than. I said, I'm not an idiot. I know what goes on.
How does one punish someone for this?
Exactly. Good question. We're thinking it over. It's like,
I know she's got a budding social life.
Take the phone, I guess. That's the only punishment there is now. You know, you take the phone.
I guess.
What do you do? What do you do for that?
I don't know. You can pull her from some after school stuff or going with her friends on the weekends. I don't know what she does.
Maybe so. Maybe that's where we got to go with this. All right, I'll tell you one thing. I'm going to make them eat from now on when we have the really bad stuff.
Yeah?
When we have like the meatloaf, that's going to be the next meal I pull out.
I'm going to really resent you on that.
Jeez. That made me so. I don't know. Halfway through it, I was like, why am I digging in so much? You know, why am I? But it's like, and he goes, Dad.